So hey y'all, and welcome. Welcome back to Leesah's cottage. Here's the project that I am getting myself into today. Yep, trying to scrape off the loose paint on both tables and all 4 chairs, even underneath. Yes, oh my goodness, am I getting myself into a mess already? But that's okay, I will be glad when it's done and over and I can sit back and enjoy it. I told you in the last video that I'm starting to paint everything black other than those 2 chairs over there. They will stay painted that color. So that's what I've gotten myself in today, and I am by no means dressed up for a beauty contest. So I'm just getting the top layer off with the brush here, the metal brush here, and then I just kind of give it a good brush over. But my final step will be, I will be using the drill there to go in between each of the slats, as well as the electric sander there. We had some work being done inside, and Ken was in there with him, and he says, Ken said, "What's that noise?" And the guy said, "That's your wife out there sanding." He goes, "Oh, that's what I'm getting myself into today. I need to get a mask before I start using the electric sander or the drill sander to start sanding on these once I loosen up all of that paint that was just flaking off. I've already started picking some stuff out of the flowers. I had seen a couple of places I missed on the table, and there's already dust settling. Farming going on around here, mowing off in the distance. So I'll have to spray that off when I get done doing what I'm doing, because I'm kicking up dust and yuck myself. Another thing, I'm deciding to go ahead and paint these 2 porches back rails. Oh my goodness, the price of redoing the porches, which this one is very mild in comparison to what the front porch is doing. So we're definitely focusing on having the front porch redone. We've already gotten a bid on it. We know the company we're going with. He's trying to look around for a better price for us on pouring the concrete up on the patio or the front porch. And we're just gonna focus on the front porch as of right now. And unless he gets a better price, Ken's also talked to the contractor that poured our patios to see what he would charge us to redo both of the porches, or all 3 of the porches actually. And we think it's hollow underneath, so all this would have to be broke up and then re-poured. But in the meantime, I've decided to go ahead and sand down all of the iron rails here. I gave them a good wiping over yesterday, just this side, and I'm gonna go ahead and put a fresh coat of paint on it. So when I get ready to do our patio, backyard, fenced-in area reveal, whatever I end up deciding to call it. Yesterday's project was I painted my mother's table and 2 chairs black, and I went ahead and brought them back up on the porch, but they still need to completely dry before trying to push anything up against them. And I think I have told you all a couple times now, we already have the wood cut out for the seat. All I need is the foam and the outdoor material to cover the foam, and just staple that down underneath and screw those down so they're nice and tight, and call them chairs again and call that project done. It's been sitting undone for far too many years. And the reason they were even taken up and redone because they had damage done to them. That's where I'm at today. I'm gonna continue to move on. The breeze is nice here. The temperatures are cool. Get another bowl full Ken and I both could have a bowl full of blackberries yesterday. We rescued 2 little baby birds. One was sitting right there on the seat of the chair, just kind of looking up like, what do I do now? So we were gonna put them back up in the tree here that we know where the nest is, and then Ken noticed another one over in the corner. He's like, "Hey, here's another one." So we put them outside the fence so Sophie girl wouldn't find them as being a toy that she could play with. So we did the old bird rescue thing. So the mama's been following them around, and I highly suspect they've gone around to the front bushes, like on the ground under the front bushes, because I can hear a lot of chirping going on out there. And it's best that way. They'll be safe under those bushes and won't get hit by the mower. And then I've been working my way around a toad out here because I didn't want to hit him. So he's just been, she has been hanging out under this tree up against the trunk there. And I was afraid Sophie was going to realize it was there and do some harmage to the toad, and I didn't want to see the toad have any damage done to it. So I ended up putting it on the outside of the fence as well. And if it comes back, there's just not much I can do about that. So welcome into my Saturday, my weekend. I'm gonna keep on moving on. I'm on a roll now. We're both naming off projects left and right, and we're just gonna keep plugging at them. And as you know, if you're a homeowner, or period, if you do projects, they're never done. You think you have gotten them done or caught up or ahead, and bam, a new one hits you, and there you are. And look, the hydrangeas are doing better than ever this year. They get kind of wilty when it gets hot over here in the corner, and I have to give them some water. They need lots of water, and they probably need a little bit more shade than what they're in. But they're putting off some pretty blooms. We've ordered a fire pit kit, so that's another project we'll be getting ourselves into. We've always wanted one, or I have always wanted one, and one that's stationary, stays there all the time. So we will be doing that project as well. Come along with us and hang out with us as we hit all these projects.
See, my bride is
this is where I'm at right now. And you all may be thinking, how do you know what to get off and what stays? What I can't see with the eye that's peeling, and then I go over it with one or more of the tools, then I just start trying to smooth down the surface so the paint will look a little smoother when we spray it. And he's gonna spray it with a professional spray gun. And then on the bottom side came off marvelous, or is coming off marvelously, as you can see. That was really easy. And basically what's left is what will get sprayed over, but again, I'll take the tools and go over it and smooth them out the best that I can so we can get the best smooth surface possible. Like right there, I can physically see with my physical eye what can come up right there. And when I go over it with the metal brush, it kind of feels bubbly, and then you know that paint's loose underneath. She's barking at Ken. She doesn't realize it's him because he's working on one of my umbrellas where the string came out. He's trying to restring it. I said, would it have been easier just to buy a new one? He said, well, at least I'll know how to fix it if it ever comes out again. So that's where I'm at right now. And I'm just gonna keep plugging on at this very tedious project. But that's probably why it's been put off for so long. But when it gets done, I will be able to call it, you said it, done. So today's project is going to be starting on the fire pit. What I will be starting with is stacking all the chairs up, moving them out of the way, moving the fire pit, and then moving each paver, concrete patio paver, over in front of Ken's shed. He already has 2 rows. It looks like 2 rows of 3, so there's 6 over there, and I'll just carry these other 9 and make it come out even further. And I'm not sure if I have to dig a little bit of the ground up so they'll lay somewhat flat. And then we are going to be working on this fire pit kit that we ordered through Lowe's. And come along and join us, and I'll let you know if it is a easy project, hard project. I have a feeling the hardest thing is going to be, it's probably just stacking the, well, getting the ground level. We will need to do that. And then I think each block, I think he read off it was 20 or 25 pounds. So that's the only thing. You just have to make sure that you can lift 20 to 25 pounds safely. Somebody's been picking up flowers for me to put here in the house while I'm working on the flowers outdoor. And he brought this to me as well. And the project we're working on today, I got everything moved, as well as it's ready to start leveling the ground. She's getting to where she would have rather sit inside right there on that towel as to come out here. I thought she was a cattle dog. It's a good thing she's not an outdoor dog, huh? She does have her moments where she likes to be outside with me. So I'll give her a break and I'll let her sit in there where it's nice and cool. And I stay out here where it's nice and hot. So if you like the hot temps and like 90% humidity, come join me in Tennessee. But in Texas, I know you all are having it hotter, as well as Arizona. My heart goes out to you all. I know it's almost unbearable. So this area is clean. Now it's time to start working toward leveling the ground, because once we put the fire pit down, this will be a permanent fire pit. We want it nice and level. So that's where I'm at right now on this beautiful but yet scorcher day. Those of you that love this kind of heat, you can have mine and some. I told Ken I'm debating on moving to Alaska. Just a joke. Just a joke. Ken was able to get this blackberry bush, and boy was it bushing out. He wanted it staked up so he could get all the berries underneath, and we're keeping the bird net over it. I had to rescue a bird the other day that had gotten up under it and gotten up into the net, so I had to get the bird out. So that was the day I was rescuing birds and toads. So I'm gonna keep on plugging. I'm gonna water some ferns, give them a good watering down. They did enjoy that rain. I brought them out further onto the, well, further down on the steps, as well as the ones on the front porch. I brought them out to where they could get some nice rain in them, because rainwater always seems to do so much better. And Ken was able to get that brown umbrella fixed. Bless his heart. I was like, wouldn't it have been just easier to purchase one? He said, what, for $75 or $100? No, we'll just fix this one. But what he don't know, I need one to go there. Unless he's got it in the his shed or somewhere in the garage that I don't know where it's at. It could be, but I was thinking the flood carried it off when it was down at what once used to be the cottage down there at that deck. Lost 4 of the plastic Adirondack chairs. We've lost 2 picnic tables to the flood. We've lost many hose pipes that were hooked together on a big hose pipe reel. We lost that in the flood. And you don't realize what you lose in the flood until you go looking for it, and you're like, oh yeah, that was down there, so I guess we lost that too. So he ended up fixing that one. He says, well, now I know how to fix it if it breaks again, because I'm almost sure that he has fixed that one before where the string had popped and it looked like tedious work. Somebody decided to jump up in the bed with me this morning to wake me up, or get into the bed with me and wake me up, by putting her tongue in my mouth, or on my mouth and up my nose. And she also got a little excited when she woke me up, and I greeted her and she piddled. on one of my blankets. So I had to strip the beds on a weekend and do those. I'm gonna offer you a weed tip. The best time to pull weeds is after a rain, where it's not so muddy that if it's too muddy you'll sink in. But this is the perfect time to pull weeds. I pulled a few weeds around this first tomato plant here, and they're just pulling up super easy. And for some reason there's such a gratification for me being able to pull the weeds up and get the roots and all. Strange, I know, but it is my dirt therapy and I love it. So I'm gonna get down here and pull weeds within the next hour or two. I'm gonna have a bite of lunch first, but you can see we've got more tomato plants planted than anything else, and I think we've had up to 4 rows of tomato plants before. But our neighbor shares with us. He grows an early, he gets started earlier than us, and then he shares what he gets in early, and then we share what we get in late. So that's what neighbors are for. You just say, hey, come and get what you want. And I was going to show you, this one here is putting off some tomatoes right there. Ken and I together did a lot of canning last year. We have still yet to put in like the broccoli, cabbage, and cauliflower. And those can be late planters too. You can get, you know, harvest those in the fall. So it's not like we won't be able to still do it. So that's what's going on down here in the garden. Mama Dawn's gonna have to get out here with the weed eater today and get to weed eating the fence line. As you can see, it needs to get done. The weed eating on the inside the first of the week, so that will probably go to the first of the week as well, that I will do that. A busy day ahead of me, but I wouldn't have it any other way. You're gonna hear me say that quite often. Seriously, I wouldn't have it any other way. I've lived the apartment life where I didn't have to do anything, and how boring was that. And I enjoy being outdoors, doing all the work we do. And I'm very thankful that I'm able to do what I do at my age, that I'm healthy enough and have the energy enough to get out here and do what I do. I would go into a deep, dark depression if I was ever told that I couldn't get outdoors and work the way that I do work. I don't mean that lightly, honestly. I really do not mean that lightly. But that is the honest truth, and my doctor knows that. He loves the outdoors too. He's a runner. Oh my gosh, I couldn't even tell you how many miles he runs. He's run the Boston many times, all the big marathons. And then I have another doctor that's a biker, and he's biked many miles. So the majority of my doctors are extremely healthy and extremely active, so they understand if they ever told me I had to stop doing what I do, they know that it would cause me to be very sad and become easily depressed. Sit inside in an air-conditioned house or an air-conditioner office for the rest of my life, I couldn't do it. I personally couldn't do it. I know a lot of people couldn't handle this heat and handle the kind of things that I enjoy doing. They're like, I never want to do what you do. I'll hire it done, my spouse will do it, my kids will do it. I'm gonna add some water to the fountain. I have way more health issues than I ever talk about, because as I tell people, I am not whatever that health issue is. I am not the skin cancer. I am not the chemical induced asthma. I'm not the heart patient. So that's the way I look at it. I just have to continue to look forward to the things that I am other than the health issue. And that's the way I deal with it, and that's the way I live with it. And my doctor often says, you would never know that she has this, and this. And he's even said before, it is amazing that you're not depressed or down or give up on the things that you enjoy and love doing that give you happiness and joy and peace. He says he's seen people with far less health issues than I have that just sit down and give up. I can't do that. I cannot do that. I have a husband that loves me, that I love. I have grandchildren that own parts of my heart, and I love them with all my heart. And I have children that I love. I cannot do that. I am more than my illnesses or my sicknesses. That's just the way this Mama Dawn looks at it. And can I say, I am just loving this privacy fence. I was so afraid that I would feel locked in and closed in. But I'm absolutely loving it. It's starting to get dark now, and the moon is already coming out. Got the fire pit put together. We're gonna pick up some gravel to put around it, as well as we're gonna build the wall. The material to put on these chairs, it's a black and white material. That way it will match the black and white paisley down there. And picked up the foam and the material to go on the chairs. So I am moving along in the projects, thank goodness. And I gotta check the lights in the gazebo and see if they're still working. I'll be able to share that with you, what they look like at some point in some future video. We had a very, very busy weekend, stayed moving all weekend long. And I'm looking forward to my head being put down on my pillow tonight. But this is where I'm gonna say, until we meet again, you all take good care and bye-bye.